Nope is written, directed, and produced by the current king of horror, Jordan Peele. It stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Steven Yeun, Michael Wincott, and Brandon Pera. The movie follows two siblings who are professional horse wranglers for movies. They've been trying to run this business after their father, played by the amazing Keith David, passed away because of a mysterious incident, but they think they may have discovered what killed their father. And this discovery is related to an unidentified flying object that has been seen by just about everybody, but there's no evidence to solidify this UFO's existence, so they're going out to capture evidence. So they go out to risk life and limb to capture evidence of this creature's existence. So if I'm going to talk about this movie, I guess I should talk about the last two movies that Jordan Peele did. Get Out was great. I love the story, I love the characters, I love the themes, and I love the comedy too. It was great. Us I liked too, but I didn't think it was as good as Get Out. The story was probably better, but I didn't like the characters as much, and I thought the comedy was a little forced. Like, they forced it a little more than Get Out did. And I've also got to talk about some movies this one reminded me of. It kind of felt like Close Encounters of the Third Kind meets Tremors meets Jaws meets Signs, if you will. Okay, getting to the point now. I think this movie is excellent. I loved its commentary. I love the performances. Particular attention has to go to the leads. Daniel Kaluuya is so good. He has this amazing ability to channel so much emotion and energy and feeling with just his eyes and his facial expressions. And on top of that, the character he's playing is supposed to be Keith David's son. He really does a good job at making you buy that this guy is the son of Keith David. His voice genuinely sounds like he is that guy's blood. But the standout performance in this movie is definitely Keke Palmer. She brings just this infectious energy to the character. She is so entertaining. She is so fun whenever she's on screen. She just acts her ass off. She is definitely the highlight of the film. And I love the chemistry these two have together. Like, you can really tell these two siblings need each other. You know, he's sort of the guy with the head for business, the day-to-day manager, the engineer, if you will. He's the guy keeping it all together, but he's also the quieter and the more introverted of the two. So Keke Palmer's character is the charismatic showman, the performer, the one who gets people interested with the marketing, but she also tends to be a little all over the place, and that's where he comes in to help her out on that front. These two need each other, and they're great foils to each other. I loved their chemistry. There were other great performances too. Steven Yeun plays this former child actor who's basically been trying to find his way in the world after, you know, those 15 minutes of fame have passed. He's not irrelevant now, but he's basically still trying to find himself. And there was a particular incident from when he was an actor that he's also trying to come to terms with and cope with. And the way he tries to do it ties into what's happening in this movie. Brandon Perea is also in this movie as a guy who works at Walmart who provides Keke and Daniel's characters with the equipment they need to track this thing down and prove its existence. I thought he was going to be kind of annoying, especially when I saw him in the trailers, but he has some funny lines. He has some surprisingly funny lines, and he never overstays his welcome, which I appreciated. Keith David's in this movie, and anybody who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of this guy. He's not in the movie for that long, but as is usual for him, he just brings so much weight to every scene, every second that he's in. We mostly get him through flashbacks, but he's still great. And bro, as I said at the beginning here, I could not believe this. Michael Wincott's in this movie. Oh my fucking God, when is the last time we saw him in anything? I haven't been happy to see an actor who's been gone for a long time come back since Thomas Ian Griffith reprised his role as Terry Silver in Cobra Kai. I just love seeing the older actors come back onto the silver screen to show that, you know, they still got it. They just need a chance, man. If anything, one complaint I could say about this movie is I really could have used more Michael Wincott. But then again, I feel like I say that about just about every role he's in. Like, no matter how much Michael Wincott you get, you always feel like, you know, there should have been more. There should have been more. We all need more Michael Wincott in our lives. Yo, Michael, if by some miracle you're watching this video, fucking love you, dude. It's so good to see you back. I swear to God, they missed out on so much potential putting him and Keith David in a scene together. Imagine just Keith David, Michael Wincott talking about anything. Just reading the phone book and having their booming voices bounce off each other. Perfect. If that happened, I would never leave the theater. I just go up into that projection room. I would replay that scene. I would die there. happy. As I said before, I also really love the commentary that this movie put out. It has a lot to state about how just anything that is conscious, anything with a pulse, mammals, humans, you name it, we all have this very territorial edge to us. And whenever we feel like that is being threatened, we are going to do something about that threat. What it is depends on the individual. It can be a response that is aggressive and dangerous, and it's something we all share, whether we are humans or monkeys, or I'm not going to give it away, but the twist is really good. How do I put this? You have so many people with a camera, be it influencers or whatever, who just do this stupid shit for their 15 minutes of fame. So for some reason, my camera decided to turn off. So here's the rest of the review. I don't know why it happened, but it did. Here we go. As I was saying, we have a lot of people putting themselves in front of cameras, doing shit for all these miscellaneous reasons, for attention, because of the creator economy. I mean, you have people doing these dumb challenges on TikTok, but we also live in a world where a big YouTuber like Logan Paul felt so desperate about his views that he went into the suicide forest. And I'm not trying to dunk on Logan Paul there. I'm just using him as an example because, like, again, big YouTuber, and even he felt a sense of desperation to do something like that. What this movie does really well is it gets into the psychology of that, and it gets into it from different angles that you might not consider when you think about real life examples of this. You have Steven Yeun playing the former child star who went through trauma at a younger age and is trying to sort of cope with that by making money off of it in the attention economy. You have people who have been affected by this UFO for a very long time who are trying to get it on camera just so they can get a step closer to doing something about it, getting attention on it so that they don't have to deal with this bullshit alone. And of course you have like kids, pranksters who want attention. You have people wwho want to get out of their 40-hour work week. And you also have certain individual characters who are doing it again because of territorialism. They see it as them basically just sort of drawing that line. And again, I can't really get into what I mean by that without spoilers, but for those of you who've seen it already, if you know, you know. I really like the horror element of this movie. They do a really good job of just like leaving you hanging in suspense. When the threat is there, when the UFO is there, it is all about like making sure that you do not have this thing's attention and making sure that it does not notice you, that it doesn't feel the need to get you. And like the moments where that suspense is put in front and center is where it's at its best. The comedy, of course, is really good. The chemistry between the two leads makes for a lot of that, and of course, it's Jordan Peele. He's always good with that. This movie really does do a good job of mixing horror with comedy. If I had to make a comparison, this movie is sort of like Signs if it was actually scary and and deliberately entertaining and funny. Now, again, I enjoy Signs. It's like one of those movies that's like so bad it's good for me, but I didn't enjoy it the same way a lot of other people did. So for me, this is more like what Signs should have been. That being said, I do really feel like more could have been done with this movie. Maybe I'm being kind of spoiled because Jordan Peele really did kill it with Get Out and Us, Get Out especially. And he has the horror here, he has the commentary. It kind of feels like it's not really getting at you psychologically the way those other two movies did. I'd usually say, it's just entertainment, just have some fun. But there are really moments in this movie where it could have. It had opportunities to do that so many times, and it didn't take those opportunities. And I was kind of disappointed by that, if I'm going to be real. Taking it for what it is, I still think it's an excellent movie. I really love what they do with the UFO. They have a really good twist with it that I don't want to spoil. But again, it gets into how we're all primal in a way, how we're all territorial, and we're going to come swinging at whatever we feel threatened by. And the reveal with this UFO is great. What the threat of this thing means to the characters is great, and why it does what it does, as is revealed toward the end, is great. I also really love how this movie is a love letter to crew, because you have a lot of very talented people who work behind the scenes, behind the camera, who, like, these big movies would not be possible without them. And so many times they go unappreciated, their work unsung. Like, all the attention gets given to the actors who are also putting in a lot of hard work, but like without the crew, it doesn't happen. And so many times they do not get the credit they deserve. Oftentimes they're overworked. I mean, we hear the horror stories about what those poor VFX artists are forced to do at, like, for Marvel. God, And like it really works for this movie that they make the two protagonists horse wranglers. Like they tame horses and train horses for movies, and we see like the sheer amount of hard work they have to go through to keep this business afloat, and how they often like get their shit messed with through no fault of their own, because this lack of communication, often for people who do not appreciate what they're doing, just get in the fucking way of it. There's this really cool sequence at the end, like they really do a good job playing with those like float up dolls you have in front of like car shops. I don't know what those are called. Whenever the UFO shows up, the electricity goes away. It goes. And like as soon as those things die down, you're like, oh shit. They really play into that in that final sequence. And pretty much everything that's good goes into this final sequence. It is so epic. You have the main character riding on this horse to basically get this thing's attention, and he's wearing a hoodie that says crew on it. And I think that it's just such a beautiful love letter to crew. And really, the final sequence of the movie is amazing and so exciting. And it's a great little denouement, little wrap it in a bow type of deal to just wrap this movie up in. It's great. I love it. Nope is a movie that a lot of people were looking forward to, and with good reason. It turned out to be really good. This is an excellent film. It could have been a lot better, I think. Taking it for what it is, it's a great time. It's a nice little love letter to crew, to old horror movies, and just another really well done piece by Jordan Peele. Yeah, 3 for 3. He has made 3 movies so far. All of them have been great. Hats off, Jordan Peele, dude. We love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it right now. I'm going to say this movie is 85% crispy. Definitely check it out. A classic from a great artist. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. I have a gaming channel and a clip channel. Come join the Crispy Kingdom. We are all royals here. As usual, this has been real crispy. And that's it. The Crispy spoken. Take care.